Right, so yesterday I was using like a twin canopy tie-up system. It worked really well. I found it really efficient for the setup, for moving around and to utilise and to retrieve. Super efficient. So yesterday's tree worked out pretty well for it. I'm with a crew I haven't really filmed with before today. Tidy trees. I've worked with Matt heaps. He got me onto him. But so it's usually always pruning work. So hopefully today I get another opportunity to sort of set it up in like a real work experience to show the sort of, you know, it's not that hard to set up and it's not that, it doesn't take very long. And yeah, let's see how we go. It's funny getting an address in Western Sydney somewhere, because there's usually only one tree. That stands out and sticks up from the rest of the others. I'm going to drive around the back of this little property here. I'm already 10 minutes late, or 12. So you watch, I'll get up some shit from Matt straight off. I don't know. I'm saying maybe that. So I was hoping to find a tree that was going to be like a good example of using two ropes, but basically this one. So this is like a big epi that's grown off the base of this. It's kind of all included in crap. And so we'll live in all of that, but we're going to take this lot of stuff here, and there's another bit out the back. We're going to take that off just to make it a bit safer, I guess. Anyways, apparently council won't let them remove it. So I've got a throw line in the tree already. And this is the gear we're going to be using. I've already got some of it in there. But I'm going to have like a 30 metre, which will start off as a retrieval leg and get turned into my access line. I've got a 60 metre rope in here as well. I'm going to be taking this lowest limb off. Oops, sorry Jules, I'm getting a little video. And so I've got a point up here, but it's not the highest point, so I'm going to make it a little bit higher as I get up there. Put some rigging up, and we're going to try and V-rig, because there's canopy above that we don't want to damage by trying to rig through or down or make the boys pull it too hard into here. So I'm planning on tying off out there and doing V-rigs, which might make it a bit easier for the boys to pull and lower into here. Or, we'll see. That always changes. We're going to focus on the climbing system for today. So, components. I've got a quickie, a locking shackle, and that's like a rock climbing quick draw sling that goes twice the length. And then I'm also going to be using a cambium saber. So a really useful feature about the FTC thingos. Basically all I'm talking about here is how I'd used a double bagging system to use it, and how much I love this FTC cylinder throw line stuff. Like, I'm still using Teffelberger Dynaglide. I do have some stiff line in there. It's not my first go-to, the Dynaglide is, but I love this. So every time I grab my throw line out of the back of the ute, it's always fucking, you know, I can always double bag super easily. There's always that second line just right there, ready to go. So always like to try and keep like my tail, my lower end there. So I'm going to pull the rope, make sure it's properly isolated. for this experience, it's actually worked out really well that it's behind this canopy. So when I'm setting an access line and having 2 ropes using, it's never really going to be in the way. So we can see she's nicely isolated. So I'm going to install my canopy anchor to start off with. So for the canopy anchor, I'm just using the soft 8 with the quickie 9-inch shackle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this short side. It's going to be theoretically my retrieval. So basically, yeah, the short end I'm going to use as my retrieval leg, alright, and I'm going to use the soft 8 as a floating anchor above the knot block. And I'm going to use that shorter yellow rope as my retrieval leg extension. So when I get up the top, I can switch over super easily. Floppy Arborist on Instagram, he's actually shared the difference between using the Alpine with the quickie on it versus using quickie to capture both legs of rope and use it as a floating anchor, similar to the soft 8 thing. I actually reckon it's better, but his video does show the reason why it is better than using it going through the Alpine butterfly. Because when it floats, you can pull it out of redirects and things so much easier.
I watched your video the other day of the knots you recommend, and why did you say you'd have to check the Alpine butterfly? Is that because it's life support, or?
Well, yeah, because grounders don't always need no life support, but I'd need to check it, because if I was going to ask you to try this, I don't want you to send it up in the tree without me looking at it. And so, because like, it's a pretty standard knot, but as a climber, you want to sort of be in charge, and you want to sort of make sure to identify those things.
We've done this before, because you tie yours differently to me.
2 rows, you got crossing over, so that's fine. It's identical to this one.
We just tie it differently, that's all.
Yeah, just it's like using different instructions with it. Yeah, you know what I mean? So like, so far I'm just joining on this 30 meter, because this is going to be my retrieval leg. I already want to move my canopy point around. It's not quite as high as what I'd like. So I want to go up a little bit higher anyways. And so by doing this as well, what I'm going to have 2 climbable systems, which essentially can make it safer. You know, Chris can rescue me if he has to.
I've got a harness there.
You got a harness there? Where now?
I might pull it out. It might just fall apart like dust. It's that old. It's all flattened. It's got ropes on it. It's like flat. Anyway, it will still hold me.
It's good because you know what? Like having rescue plans and stuff is like it's all mentioned in the codes of practice and everything. It's like,
you know, in New Zealand, it's much stricter when I worked
my
there.
mate was telling me.
And they would make us. And chainsaw pants, here we go, couldn't turn up like this.
Yeah.
They've got much stricter on it. I don't know why it is, but considering that they don't really suit people there either. But mate, we'd always leave
compared to here.
We'd leave a line in there, and we'd just have it like just strapped into the tree.
Yeah,
so the line's there like a single line, you know, like just to ascend it, and he'd leave his ascender gear on it, and that would just sit there. So anyone, even the groundie, if they know how to do it, would just jump in and work up. Now all the way down to there, now weaving. It is, and it's the weight of it.
It'd be funky as inside.
Yeah. Once all this weight's
What
off,
is that?
I'm sure
Oh,
it's
yeah.
probably, so it's not going to have as much chance of coming off at least.
No, well that's right, because it's done such a good job at sealing and joining back together already. And so it's got so much wound wood and stuff. So you take that bit of weight off, it just gives it that.
Fair enough.
Well, actually, should I go over a bit of my ascending setup? I just got the CT foot ascender, which I rate. The chest harness, I have my little custom knee ascender. The Vivo Barefoots don't have like little strappy things, so I fuck around that little bit extra. Once it's all sort of on, I got all my shit. Matt is just loving his life right now.
I'm just recording myself.
Yeah. I'll make sure to give you some credits. And so this is what it looks like up in the canopy. That's what I was saying, the shackle load's a lot nicer like this. Even better if you get the CE rated one, but whatever. And so my retrieval leg is about yay big. Alright. Which means it's going to be really easy to reset myself just up there. So I'm going to put my soft 8 just here. I'm going to have a cambium saver above it with my orange rope. And so this extension for the retrieval leg is going to turn into my access line / rescue line. Alright, so I didn't either record or capture the video sort of just showing the actual setup that I used in the tree and the top all that well. So I'm here in the garage before going to work, which hopefully it might be cold, it's raining, but I've just mocked it up here for you guys now. Alright, and so this was my long rope. This was the one that I'd tied up first. This was used as an extension for my retrieval leg, and then I got up and I threw myself a bowline tie-off point with a short tail, and I actually hung off this and then threw the cambium saver up to the next one that I wanted, and it sent my retrieval leg down to the ground, then tied my knot block, don't mind my filthy fucking garage, sent the retrieval leg down to the ground. But then before I left all of this, I tied this tight little bowline just here, so that I like this because there's no hardware, so the knot block doesn't get, you know, you're not crushing a carabiner or something just here. But so what happens, right, you gotta have that carabiner for safety, is when you pull out and retrieve, you're gonna pull this first one until you get to your thingo here, and then that'll probably hit the ground. What happens, and you'll see it later on in this video anyways, but you keep pulling your retrieval leg and it pulls out that one. So this video is so trash, but that's basically the gist of what happens. I haven't even used the soft 8 for this one because it doesn't really need it. And then the retrieval leg through the cambium saver, ideally you want it parallel with this one, because when you pull the cambium saver and it gets captured by that first initial access line, you want that retrieval leg to be parallel with this one so that it will pull down without gaining any extra friction. And so the beauty is that this one with the cambium saver, I can go through fucking as many redirects as I like essentially, and I'll be able to pull this orange rope out. The yellow one's a bit like, if we put the soft 8 in, we can put redirects and it will still be working to pull out. And so like, the other benefit is like, so this doubles as like a rescue line, so we've always got a sort of rescue plan in place. But if we wanted to, we could get someone else. I could throw one line over there for them and they could do that. Or if it was a bigger tree and I finished doing all this stuff I was doing out here, I could just come straight down to the ground, come back up my access, and then just be ready to work all of that without having to pull any redirects out until the final end of the climb. Yeah. Nice! So that was perfect. Very snug. I'll tidy this up. Matt's pulling the Justin. Yeah, look at that. Nice. We got the foot under wrap. We got the poor man's rigging wrench up here somewhere. There it is. Pinto Beckett friction. Then we have ourselves a little natty crotch. Alrighty. That was absolutely beautiful. So this is just what I was using for aerial friction for the rigging. Hey, that rigging line's good to come out, Matt. I'm using like an ultra sling. It's super long and it's super strong. And it can be useful in those sorts of settings. So I spotted. It looked like there was a possum in there, but it wasn't. Some good bits of dead, cocky damage. Where's that bracket? There she is. Stuff detected. So that's that done and sorted. And then, so all I have to do now is tell Matt to pull on this after he puts a retrieval ball on the long end. And that's going to pull that all the way out, and then we'll pull the yellow one out once that cambium saver gets tugged out on the tail of this one. And so regardless of redirects, like, it's always just going to be so much easier to retrieve through the cambium saver. So I did have someone show me like a really good way to put a little soft accessory splice in the end of your rope, but I haven't done that yet. So for now I'm just still taping this with a couple of half hitches. And then I'm going to pull down on this retrieval leg. It's going to be hard. I'll see if I can zoom in up here. Alright, so now that cambium saver is the retrieval ball for my standard bowline tie-in. So soft retrieves the cambium saver while we are retrieving our access line. Oh, look at that. Look at that. My cambium saver got stuck. But have no fear, because if I pull on my access line, we can pull it back up. And then pull it back down. And so, that's where the rope was running through. Cambium saver captures, does that. And all I had was a bowline with a long tail for my access line. And now we're all good. So I guess the reason I've decided I want to make this videos and try and demonstrate the effectiveness and the ease of setup, and doesn't affect your efficiency of overall on the work, because there's so many people that don't have the sort of necessary skills set to be able to set up efficient multiple canopy anchors that are sort of safe and adhere to the safe work of practice codes and things that we have here in New South Wales. And so despite that, it only says that you should have an aerial rescue plan and everything in place, and we should have a rescue climber on site. It doesn't really mean that we shouldn't, okay? We should have these things, and just because we don't legally have to, doesn't mean that we can say, well, but, cost effectiveness, it's not as quick, but like, you can set these systems up just as quickly as what a sort of, general climber can do any of this stuff in double rope. But SRT makes it more efficient, energy efficient, and so by being energy efficient, it's safer and it's more productive, and yeah, I don't know. I'll get some thoughts about this. So I guess that is the main thing, right? Is I'm trying to prove and show that we can set up a dual system as efficiently and effectively as, you know, normal climbing can be done. And then the benefits of being able to get a second climber up if the workload's too much, or you want to change your route and move around, you want to use a different high point, you've always got that option. The thing is that nobody seems to have the skill set to be able to do it effectively and be able to make those plans, because not, you know, to say the least, that SRT is very underrepresented in arboriculture in Australia, I would say, in my personal opinion. And so if you think that trying to implement SRT and have aerial rescue things in place is, you know, it's just a waste of time, it's going to cost you money, I'd love to have some chats with you and we can nut it out. Or you can come to a rec climb and learn some shit.